I didn't put my tux on today, so there is that.
No, we're kind of matching, kind of father and
Yeah.
son matching today. It's adorable. What is happening, crew? Back here with Batman and the Robin.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
that's
uh,
it.
we're here to try to fulfill all your crypto needs and so much more. So much more. We
Market go up, please. Yeah,
market go up.
that's
Lambo
my
win.
for
Move where?
Yeah, Lambo for the win, please.
Yeah, what a week. What a week in crypto. What did you want to open up with, Dad? You had something for us.
Well, yeah, as far as crypto or my life in general.
What you were doing this morning.
Oh, the wife and I, Elizabeth. Many of you know Miss Elizabeth, the resident brains of this operation.
That's right.
She and I got up at before sunlight, actually, and went for a hike. Many of you don't know we live very close to Sequoia National Park, where the giant redwood trees are. Technically, they're sequoias, but we won't get into that here. And anyway, they took the dog, took Bruno. The Bruno man went on the big hike, and it was amazing. It was a little chilly, but it was, I don't know, 35, 33, something like that in the park. So, Fahrenheit. So yeah, real close to 0 Celsius. Yeah.
That's
So it was
freezing.
really, yeah, but the sun came up, amazing sunrise. Walking through these giant redwoods is something to behold. It's a feeling of just how giant they are. Whatever video you've ever seen or photographs do not do them justice. The diameter of them is spectacular. And then when you can't see the tops, there's something very infinite and makes you feel small and as if you haven't been on the planet very long is the feeling of it.
Yeah.
But spectacular. Yeah. Great way to start.
Miss my mountain hikes, Dad.
Yes.
I was just chewing on my trip hiking up. My dad and I have both hiked up Mount Whitney, which is the highest point in the continental U.S. And then a lot of people don't know the lowest point is Death Valley, which is right next to it. So there's this just crazy grade. Once you get up there, it's crazy. Like the first tier, you hit this really gorgeous lake. I'd say there's like 3 or 4 tiers till you start making your way towards the backside and the top. But from the park, and I would say, like, can you see it from your house, Dad? Like, can you see the top of Whitney? I mean, I'm sure you can.
Well, from the road down, if you get a different angle, yeah, you could see the back of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it you get up to this first tier. If anybody ever has the nerve to go do it, I recommend it. There's just this kind of bird bath lake that's carved out, and it's this perfect first resting point. And it's right when you just start to look at this entire valley. It's like the whole world dropped off.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. Very cool.
We're huge Sierra nerds over here.
There's really a couple of interesting facts about that area. Like within a square 150-mile area, you have the lowest point, highest point in North America. Well, lower 48. The oldest living thing, one of the oldest living things, and what was the other one? And one of the largest living things, redwoods.
Yeah, Mono Lake. You got
Mono Lake. Yeah, oldest.
There's so many different things going on.
Yeah, it's really cool area. Very interesting. So,
what's going on, everybody?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we got our Canadians in here.
Nice. Love my Canadian folk.
We got Northern. We got Verhoofty. We got Audrey Z. Glad to see you're back in time, Audrey Z. Jim, another one of our Canadians. Much love, everybody. We got XRP Golden Age, which is a perfect name for what's going on here. Just putting that out there. That's he's coming in from Spokane, or he or she.
Spokane.
Spokane. Charles,
yes,
where's Scurry?
The chat.
I've been all through Texas, but I don't know where Scurry is.
Where?
And yeah, any questions that y'all have, let's hit them out. Can't wait to talk to y'all about crypto today. What a week!
Look at Mark's in the house, North Carolina boy. He
nice.
is he and I communicate quite often. Lately, I haven't been able to get back to him on a bunch of his texts to me, but sorry, brother. But love you. Glad you're in the chat, and I can see the chat now. Verhoofdy Lufen. Okay.
It's Floofin, Dad. Okay, it's Floofin. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like something that happens under the sheets, but I don't,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is it floofing around, or what do we mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
When you're messing around. What's going on, Sean? Just got here. Yeah, you didn't miss much. You just heard us nerding out on Sierra Nevada mountain range.
Yeah.
Y'all haven't been, you got to go. And if you don't want to deal with the Disneyland of it, don't go to Yosemite. Drive through Yosemite, and then hit the redwoods, or go to Mammoth. Either way, any one of those three, you're winning.
Right. Chuck's in the house. Hey, I wanted somebody mentioned this up in here, and I got to answer it really quick. I have no idea when cryptos are going to go up. None. I got no idea. However, all indications of everything that I'm seeing look really good. I mean, all the fundamentals and the technicals look really good to me. So, do I have a crystal ball? I wish I did, but I don't. And I really do believe over the next, period of time. How about I go with that one for vanilla? A period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? I think you're clearly right. Okay, the one thing I want to talk deep into this other conversation, but I'll get into that later when I get rolling. But I have something I want to talk to you all about: interest rates and inflation. And I've really been studying that hard lately. And I'm trying to wrap my head around how I can actually put a video out about it. So I haven't done one specifically about where I think it's all headed. So until that day, which is going to be this week, where I can wrap my head around how to put my thoughts into words, we'll have to wait on that one. But I'll talk about it a little bit later. What do you got, Brent? We had questions from last week that we should really get to as well.
We do. We'll get to those. So big growth week for crypto, right? Everybody, Yeah. Okay, here we go. I just went through and just eyeballed the top gainers over the last 7 days. That's all I was looking at. I was like, okay, and let me read you the kind of, first, second tier list here, Dad, and tell me what you think about these in general. This, because I saw a pattern here. Top growers from this last week: Solana, Chainlink, Polygon, Polkadot, Avalanche. What's the first thing that comes to mind, everybody?
Hello.
Bridging, interoperability, exchange, Ethereum. Ethereum had an insane week.
Yeah.
It like okay, so now we'll push into the others here. There's a few others.
On ramps, off ramps.
Yeah.
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 DeFi,
Mm-hmm.
the future of finance, and a lot of those. Yeah.
I'd say
Cody, hey, wait a minute. I have to interrupt the show. Code Man here, Mr. Cody lives right down the hill from me. He's been going through some health issues recently, and all of us know, and he's a young man, and none of us ever want to go through any of those kind of things, but he had a situation I won't get into. It's his life. I won't share it entirely. But he and I have been talking a little bit here and there. I haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks, but he sent me a medical report today that virtually said he looks perfectly clear in some categories. So I was so stoked to get that text from you, Cody. I appreciate it, brother. I'm so happy that you would think of me to share that sort of great medical news that you have to share with the rest of us. And I'm so glad you're here today, this morning with us and feeling well. That's awesome. Good to hear it.
Way to go, Cody.
He's a good dude, man. I'm really looking forward to his wife does some work like on full moons, and they get together and they do some stuff, and it's kind of woo-woo, and it's like, I gotta be there. I gotta be there, man.
Yeah, my dad was just telling me about that, Cody. We're those cats. We're those cats. Like, we're all about healing and all that stuff. So we're so happy for you. That's awesome. Let's keep it going in this direction.
Yeah, he's doing good.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the real stuff, folks.
There it is. Okay, I had to interrupt with that, but
no, that's great.
Yeah, all the on ramps, all the top, the height. Here's my observation of what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of ways, a lot of people aren't going to like what I'm about to say, but deal with it.
Yeah, take it easy.
The institutional money and the institutional players and the big picture forward technology of which coins are going to be adopted and which ones are not are struggling for that power and corruption, if you will, today, right now. All of that is happening now. And those big players who funded Solana and the big players that funded Ethereum and all those people are taking their place, and they're jockeying for position in all of these projects. So when I tell you guys the top 50 coins are so important to stay involved in or interested in and invested in, those are the coins that are going to be supported by the man, or the big bank accounts, or the big institutions, or the Facebooks, or the, you know who I'm talking about, the Apples and the Googles, and all of those companies are going to work with those big players because they have connections. And that's a big picture view of some of the coins you just mentioned, for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A couple others just want to mention. Really big week for Kronos. Kronos is the through the times has been the adopted coin of Crypto.com. I've used that project, and I've used their wallets. I've staked on it. I've gotten the card. My friends have done the same. Pretty cool. I haven't been very involved in it in the last year or so, because I kind of moved on to other stuff, and I was looking for what's going to be bulletproof for all of us, and for myself. But Kronos and what Crypto.com has done, I think is a real step in the right direction of making it easy, making it available. Let's try to build something. And it's like, I feel like we need those projects, whether or not they're going to be, the cat's pajamas, here down the road. I don't know. I've heard both sides, but to have exchanges, to have staking wallets, to have debit cards that are like cash to crypto, like things like that are really gonna move the space forward. And I hope that
big time
these exchanges do that. Now coming to that, the biggest gainer of the week, Dad, FTX token, it's up 180% on the week. Now, explain this to me, Dad, because you know a lot more about it than I do. How is that even possible? How does that work? I would have thought they would have left the same behind,
Do you want my off the cuff angle, or do you want my professional opinion? That one's a tough one.
Well, we are live on YouTube, so we'll say we're doing the professional, but just go ahead and go with the other.
Okay, I don't mean to insult anybody here, because I know we're all non-accredited investors. We are who we are, and we know what we like, and we research the coins in which we really like. Mm-hmm. It just proves there's idiots everywhere to me in a lot of ways. And I'm just going to put it bluntly. Anybody but there's a lot that's bigger than that. There's so many people who are looking at this thing as an opportunity to get in dirt cheap bottom. And when it goes up 180%, get out. Right. Because there's so many people who are just normies, or whatever you want to call them, not crypto people, who are like, oh, I've heard of FTX. Dude, they were in the Super Bowl last year. Yeah. And Tom Brady and all those guys. Yeah, man. Cool. All right. They just, they're going along to get along people. And they're like, okay, well, I'll do it, or whatever. Okay. I've heard of it. I know what it is. They had a cool commercial. Those people are not the future of what I would call crypto. The way you and I want to see crypto advance, the way I want to see peer-to-peer trading and get the man out of the system, out of the way between you and us doing commerce together. Those people are going to promote a coin like that. Now, on the professional side of things, okay, let me get to that answer. On the professional side, there's a thing called market share. Right. And we all kind of know what that means, but unless you've been in a corporate circle, you don't really understand what that means. It's really hard for the staple crew to go out in the world and get a name like FTX. It's impossible for us to achieve that logo, that name recognition. Mm-hmm. And that's of a lot of value. Okay. And the only thing they have to do is come along and say, well, that guy's in prison for 100 years. And we're all good guys. And we're the real deal. And he had this vision, and he screwed up, and he, whatever. Well, we have a whole board, and we're respected, and we're the most analyzed, and we're the most scrutinized. And we go through the most checks and balances. And let's remember the other biggest thing. They actually had a license. They were approved by the SEC, and nobody else does, or very few, right? It was that scam coin thing. I can't even remember what that coin was called, but there was some scam company that came along when the court hearings were happening. But nobody has a license to do that, and they still carry the license. It's almost like you're the only one in your city who has a liquor license. That is value.
Yeah.
So.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in the world we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Mr. Burns is promoting it on Twitter, to me, is not only is that a breach of, he should be fired for that. I mean, in my world, he'd be fired. I'd have got rid of that guy. You can't promote a coin which just stole billions of dollars from people and now he's going to jail for 100 years or whatever it is. You went out there and you're you're crushing XRP. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Who are you? You know,
Who are the SEC? Who are
he's
they?
not even trying to hide the slime. You know, it's amazing. I don't get it. Yeah. He just
It's kind of
crawled
like
right out
that,
of
that
his.
whole like it's kind of like that whole we'll lie to you and you know you're gonna go ahead and buy it anyway. We know you're gonna buy it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
No relations with that woman at all. Hey, kudos, Martin, for bringing that up. Like I was gonna talk about that, and I saw you posted that. Randall really solidified that one too, Dad. Pompages cometh. Pompages cometh, people.
I love that.
And there's good. Yeah, I love that. And there's
That might be
so
my
many different forms. Like
issue.
we're seeing it with FTX, and I liked your explanation on that, Dad. And it's like what do you really want to invest in? What do we really want to thrive in the space? And we all, tug of war and back and forth on XRP and Bitcoin and Ethereum, and
Yeah.
it's so funny because to me those things are a foregone conclusion. Like all those three I mentioned are foregone, and then all these other things that are growing are, in my eyes, like I looked at that list of gainers this week, Dad, and I just saw like connectivity. I saw
Oh yeah.
projects that gain popularity, and a few of these I've used and they worked great. So
Yeah.
it's like it's exciting to see the space come together for me.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just be one,
The
token
downside.
that the government buys all up and then we're all hosed anyway. Like I don't want to see that. I want to see people continue to innovate blockchains. We all continue to invest for a very long time. We weed out the bad ones and we find the good ones that work for people, humanity.
Yeah. The sad part. Hey, see ya. Point guards in the house.
Nice.
Point guard. Yeah. Hey, brother. We saw him at the symposium. Great dude. His wife.
That's my friend.
Yeah. Good folks. The downside to those coins is they all kind of rhymed to me. They all rhymed as they got corporate money, they have hedge funds behind them. And it really kind of, I know all that's coming and I get it. And that's going to be the future of the business. And as long as you own those coins, you're not, at this point, you're looking for your life to change financially. If you're in my price category anyway, if you're in my level of wealth, you're looking to make a financial move, and you're less worried about, let's say, the moral standards behind some of these coins. I know we all get hung up on our coins and that coin is morally bad and our coin is perfect. I know all that. We get hung up on that, but it's really kind of sad to me that the coins that did shine over the last couple of weeks were corporate coins. It was kind of the exception of, I don't know enough about Polkadot to call them that. I know quite a bit about Polkadot, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
I've heard them linked to a bunch of bad backers. So I don't know that to be true. Virtually everybody else, though.
Yeah, that's true. Another gainer, fan favorite here in the crew is Caspa. Dare I say rock the Caspa, because this, again, you just chew off a little more each week, on the project and what they're doing. And the gains this week were huge. I think they were like 30%.
They were up 90 something at one time.
Yeah, it was like one of the days, Dad. I think it's like 30 or 40 for the week. Huge. And so that's huge. That's huge. We're watching Caspa, folks.
I have an exceptional cup of coffee here. I know it's late in the day, but I didn't have any this morning when we went on the hike. I threw together some little instant thing or something. But that's a very tasty cup of coffee.
Nice. This isn't water. Any guesses? It's not vodka either. It's okay. It's not water. It's not vodka. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe somewhere in the middle. Maybe somewhere in the middle.
Good for you.
And it's so refreshing.
While you're young.
Yeah.
Right. Martin.
Trust the process. Yes.
XRP Golden Age. Yeah. Thanks, man. I got my computer. I got my laptop going, man.
Dad can read comments with us. Let's go.
It's been an internet thing more than a computer thing, but yeah, it's fun. Fun stuff.
Martin's throwing down today. Here we go. Let Trump take care of Mr. Burns. You're fired.
You're fired. Yeah,
fired.
It's going to be. Mr. Burns crawled right out of the swamp into the media, and I really don't. I wish he'd crawl back into the rock he came. The only thing I did an entire video about this a while back. Probably everybody already saw it, but I'll remind everyone. He's probably going to get promoted. Number one, which is really sad. Okay.
Yeah.
Or be careful what you wish for, because this guy looks like a real complete moron, and he's making the whole thing look really bad and corrupt, which we know it all is, which is exposure. So you kind of want that to happen, you know? You want the clown to be an obvious clown so you can see, we knew they were all clowns, you know? So if you got some new straight shooter in there who was just speaking political garbage all day, we'd never get anywhere. But this guy is so blatantly a thief, and he's not a thief. He hasn't stolen anything. He claims to be for the people, and that's clearly not his objective. One day I'll tell you guys a story. Actually, did you guys hear the story? I have a similar story, but there was a story that Elon Musk told this week. I don't know if you guys heard that. I think it was on Rogan's show. Or maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it was recorded.
Elon?
I think it's a new one. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I think
I heard actually from it. But essentially, he said that there were venture capital groups who were clearly gaining together, who may or may not have been tied to the major 3 American automotive companies. Okay. And they were shorting Tesla stocks for years and years and years, pounding it on the futures ETF market. Okay. To the point where Elon had his financial people calling the SEC saying, here's their short book. Like, what are you people doing about this? This is blatant smashing another U.S. corporation intentionally, holding us down and holding the stock value of many shareholders of Tesla stock. And it's hurting them financially. And a lot of these are in pensions and other things. And yet you're not doing anything about it. Not a damn thing about it. And that was really, I heard a similar story from one of the bosses I worked for a long time ago, that the SEC was actually against anybody that they didn't approve or didn't, play the game the way they wanted them to play it. And I'm not saying here nor there whether or not Elon's a good or a great man. I never met the man. I don't really know him. I think he's better than most in his position. I'll put it that way. But I don't think any of us walk on water, if you know what I mean. But yeah.
He'll probably be elected Supreme Chancellor. On that note, Sith Lord said, thank Gary Gensler for this opportunity to accumulate XRP.
Yeah. Thanks, Gary.
There's some stuff we got to get to here, Dad.
Do it.
R. Morgan absolutely was blown away by driving through the south of Pennsylvania and seeing all the dairy farms. Blown away at how beautiful and amazing that I just never pictured Pennsylvania being that. And it was that and more. Dad, we got a question from OG Mack. Any advice on starting a crypto channel?
I'll get to that as soon as I say this.
Yeah.
Anybody who even has 2 chickens, I'm going to call a farmer. And I love all of you. And there's something about it. And when you work with animals every single day, like I do, there's a lot to be said for it. And it's okay if you're vegan and you don't believe in any of that stuff. I'm okay with that too. I fully understand who you are and I appreciate your opinion in life. However, anybody that's a farmer is on my short list of great people. And we need to support all of them in as many ways as possible. To answer the crypto,
you're around it again after a while. You just come back to, this is life, man. This is where the chicken is what's valuable. The chicken has real value, the intangible value. Humanity would not be here without the chicken, probably. Like that kind of stuff starts coming in your brain. And you're like, wow. Amazing. Oh, they're good thing on the farm.
And I don't mean this to be I know this is going to come across really bad if you're a vegan, but basically if there weren't domesticated animals, you probably wouldn't have been born.
No.
And I know that's really hard for a lot of people to understand, but like you can't live off of, the population wouldn't be what it is today. I'll just put it like that. I'd say 2/3 of the people on the planet would not be able to exist. And whether that's a good or a bad thing, that's up to you. But yeah,
it's one of those things too, though, Dad. Like, because people are making the like a total vegetarian diet work. Like, there's this kind of evolution in people that you see with different things, to where we just kind of change and we're like, yeah, that's a way to do it. That works.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's one of those things that it's like, if all hell broke loose and hit the fan, and you don't have access to complex proteins and meat and stuff like that, like that's what we would all be doing. And so like there's just like, it's interesting. But where we came from, I think you're totally right, Dad. We would not be here talking.
If you look at every city in North America, they all had 2 things in common. Why? Have you ever, probably everywhere in the world, I'm just going to say everywhere in the world. If you ever ask yourself, well, why did they put the city there? Why is Dallas where Dallas is? Why is whatever, whatever city, Vancouver where Vancouver is?
Yeah.
99% of the reasons why those cities are there is because they had good grazing land and they had access to abundant fresh water for livestock. And you don't take my word for it, just look it up. That's exactly what happened. If you can't grow livestock, you can't build a city. And well, that was the model. That doesn't mean in the future that's going to be the model. But I want to answer
shout out Practical Woo Woo, 14 years strong. Keep it going.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to answer the crypto question. Channel.
Yeah, let's go.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I started a channel and then our channel started doing really well, and it sort of plateaued, and then it goes this way and it goes that way.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that really I love about being a content provider, I don't know, terrible name, but whatever, that's what they call people, but is you get so much out of it. But I can't say that I enjoy as many subscribers as I have now, any more than I did when I only had 50 or 100. So if that's you, you're for YouTube. You're going to be fine. But if you want to be the person that's just, I'm going to be the hype just to get the clicks, we don't really need you, man. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. We don't really need more clippy, hypey stuff, because AI is going to do all that. And I know they get the clicks, and I know they get a bunch of views, and I know all that stuff. And that's probably why my channel will never blow up. But if you can be real, and if you know a lot about crypto, we need you, man. We need you to start a channel, not whether you should or not. So I don't know if that answered the question, but
it does, Dad. Approach it as like a multifaceted thing. Like what a lot of the praise that we've gotten from the channel is that we're not just this hammer one particular coin, and then we're just going to keep selling you that same video each and every time. Something that my dad has done exceptionally well for us on the channel is consistency. If you are consistently posting, like especially in the beginning, you'll get those, 100 to 500 subs, and then you'll already have that buzz. You'll already be stoked. And being a true, authentic person, I think is what you were saying too, Dad. It's like, that is so important. Like, for us to be ourselves, come on here and be ourselves and be open to talking about anything. And our Patreon's turning into that, where there's nothing that we're not going to, talk about, and then we're not going to touch, and then we're not going to have fun with. And
that's my favorite.
So it doesn't have to just be a crypto channel. And if it's like Dad said, a crypto channel for just the clicks, just to make a paycheck, and just to, it's a tough go. It's taken us 2 years, and I think we've done really well, but we're still a small channel. We're still not making a ton of money. We're not, like, all that stuff. Like, there's ways to grow it, but also be yourself. You gotta be on here, and people will appreciate you for that.
The XRP slave. What I would say also is talk about what you know best. Talk about the coins you know best. Don't read us the news every morning. I wouldn't suggest that. If you want to do a show about news, pick an article that you really like, and then tell us what you think about that article. That's what we need more of. There's too many people that are just reading you the news every morning, which may or may not even be accurate, even if it's crypto news, and even if it's not mainstream news. Tell us what you think about what you read. Hey man, this is crazy. What do you guys think? I don't believe this. I don't know whether I like that or not, or I love this about that. People want you. And we want each other, and we want to hear about what everybody else kind of has to say about it. And you're going to get your people that are going to go, you're an idiot, man. Everything you say is stupid, man. I get so many.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get many, thank God. But sometimes I'll be like, well, dude, you didn't even talk about this. And I'm like, that's all the video was about. Like, what were you listening to? It's so weird how people can hear, 10 people can hear the same sentence, and all 10 of them hear something different. So get used to that. But
and don't take any of it to heart. You don't want to ever be offended by any of it.
No.
And then also, this is a creative process. My dad and I did not write a script down today for what we wanted to do. I have this is all the notes I had today. Nothing. It's a creative process for us to be here with you, to read your questions, which is what we're wanting to do videos about more. like between Dad and I. It's like, what does the crew want to hear
Yeah,
about?
that's right.
What are they
Yeah.
interested in? Because it's not just about us pushing crypto forward. It's about them pushing crypto forward. Like, it's about our community doing
Yeah.
it. And so that's the stuff that we all need to look at and work through and figure out. There's no dumb questions. This is all brand new, terrain here that we're all trying to navigate. And so be creative with it, have fun with it. And crypto is a great space to build a channel.
And I have another theme too that I've been really, it's really come to the forefront in my life, and I really want to share it with everybody. And Brent and I talk about this all the time. It's, you need to become you, and you need to find out what you like. I don't care if you like fishing or checkers. It doesn't matter. Be passionate about what you like, whether that be XRP or Bitcoin or Ethereum. It doesn't matter. But if you're passionate about something, show it and own it and love it, right? But the one thing I'm really noticing in myself is I'm starting to become a better man. And I'm becoming a better man because I'm not waiting for all of my crypto to make me a multimillionaire before I become a better human being. That tells me I'm progressing as a human being. Mm-hmm. And I love that about myself. I see it in my son. I see it in my wife. And I see it in the people in this chat. And that, to me, is more important than the wealth that you will generate with these coins. These coins clearly have a future, and you're going to prosper, okay? But who are you now? Are you becoming a better person? Are you a bigger part of your community? Do you help your friends out when they need you? Or does that not even matter to you? You just rather go fishing. That's good too. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't wait to get rich to be somebody.
Yep.
And that's really been huge on my mind lately. But yeah.
Don't wait for your wealth to feel rich. And it works with all things. It works with your health. It works with your mentality in life.
So true.
Yeah. Relationships, all of it. Like, cool. There's some ideas in here, Dad.
And yes, if you grow weed, you're a farmer.
At the bottom there?
No. If you grow weed, you're a farmer. I'm serious. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, totally. I know a few of those folks. No, yeah. I know those people. Northern said, I'm going to have just a YouTube channel watching me in the hot tub.
Yeah, and then, perfect.
And then Alchemist added naked hot tub crypto chat.
Perfect. Yes. Just, above the waist. Above the waist. Unless you're female, then.
You don't tell anybody what the cocktail is. It's just sitting there right on the side of the hot tub.
Yeah. Got your cigar and your Cavassier or whatever happening.
Oh, yeah. Crypto hasn't even hit yet. You're already just feeling like a wealthy person.
That's perfect.
Sitting there soaking, talking to your people. We've been doing it wrong.
Crypto.
Doing it wrong. Our character, our choices, and our riches. It's good to see you in here, Lino. Another longtime vegan. It's awesome. We love seeing you. Yeah. They're Simon.
Simon's late to chat today.
This is deep. Becoming someone is becoming rich.
Yeah.
Dude, that's bro. Good. Yeah.
Very good point. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Entering into it's never easy ever. But the more and more I live, the more this is to be able to be a person and to be able to exist on Earth is pretty special. It's really consciousness and the whole 9 yards. It's amazing. And we can use it for really good things. We can use it
It's
to
every
love. We can use it to love everything. And that is like, once I found that and once that developed in my life, it was like, dude, I have no excuse today. I have no reason to be depressed or sad or like,
nope.
and I know some people do. Some stuff is just really, really hard. I've been there too. But man, what a blessing to be alive.
It
And
is. Yeah.
for us to be able to be here on Sunday together and have computers and, have stuff to
That's
eat.
fun.
We're
I can
winning.
remember we used to have to talk Brent into doing these live streams in the beginning. He was like, "Wow, I don't know. What
Yeah.
do you think? You think people are watching them?" And it's like,
It's weird. I did theater for so many years. Like I was like acting in college and stuff, and for some reason there's like this block of like, well, I don't want to talk out of my ass. That's the other half of it. It's like if I don't know something, I don't want to sit here and yammer on about it to a bunch of people that know about it. It's like that's not play either. And so I think that there was some blocks, and then Dad just became my favorite.
well,
I get the energy from everybody is what I live for. And
yeah. Talking out of your ass is kind of more for Patreon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Mhm. He likes to
Sorry,
bend over and speak from his rear.
Yes. Sorry, I have a stone in my boot. It's been hours in there rattling around.
Hey, what's up, Ollie? Good to see you in here, brother. Oh, we got Vern in here, Dad.
No way.
We can be down if that's what our psych needs, Brent.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Already, my squirrel brain
Elizabeth
already
said-
forgot what that was regarding, but if Elizabeth said it, it's smart, so I'm running with it. How would you? Okay, all right, Ollie. Not financial advice, anybody. If you had 10 grand right now, Dad, where would you invest it at the moment?
Put it all on black, number 7 in Vegas. I don't know.
Yeah, sports. I would look at sports betting for sure.
Oh God, I wouldn't do that. Well, you know more about sports betting than I do.
Yeah, well, you don't bet at all. You take 500 of that and you put it on like a 30-1 at the beginning of the year, and you forget you ever had it. That's what I would do. Like I would do that just for fun, just for funsies. Like
my attorney
threw that money in the garbage can. That's trash.
My attorney just posted in the chat that I'm not allowed to give financial advice. So
we're not going to name specific cryptos, but if you've watched the channel a time or two, from time to time, you may have, stumbled across some of the names that we've been placing out there for all of you to look at. I mentioned a few of them today.
If I had 10 grand just laying around and I wasn't in crypto at all, I would do a ton of research, and I would find 3 coins that I really, really saw the future and their fundamentals. That's the coins I would buy. I wouldn't buy coins who are new or didn't have any use case going forward. I would buy something that banks are using, institutions are already adopted. I would buy those coins, and I would buy more than one. How's that for financial advice?
It's good.
That's just life strategy.
Hey, no apologies necessary, Ollie, for the question. I'll write to you my real response in a Patreon message later. How does that sound? Yeah. We just want to be able to do this with all of you on Sunday. So, to keep ourselves.
The other thing I'm figuring out is I wouldn't actually ask somebody of my financial status on how to get rich. that probably wouldn't be in your best interest.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, there's so many really wealthy people that are so not into crypto, and they're going to wish they were. So what do they know? Yeah.
And when they do get that way, Dad, I think that sings Hoddle. It sings Hoddle. You know, it's
Yeah.
say we get
That's
this
right.
really steep, crazy bull coming here next year or whenever. You know, and
Oh, that's right.
oh
Yeah.
boy, I got all this money and I get to run to the bank and you know,
Yeah.
I'm just here living the dream, you know? And then you don't have any investments in the future in a time where, okay, all these other investors and all these other economists and all these other people and politicians and governments and all this stuff, they're like, okay, here, we just saw what this bull run did, and we saw, you know, how people bought it and how people used it, and
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be subsequent bulls down the road, and to not be able to hodl and capitalize on those things once you've already cashed out and now you're potentially priced out is, to me, is like it's the case for hodling, even
Oh, for
through
sure. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
next bull. And I know that's tough, and I know a lot of people like you have done that, Dad, and
Yeah.
and it's it's crazy, but I think it only builds to the like strength of the future because like I think
Yeah.
if we're all in this chat right now, we all believe that, you know, this stuff's going to get adopted and it's going to go nuts, and you know, we're off to the races.
One of my favorite
So
recent examples was
you're not late. We're not
there's
late.
no, you're not late. There's a guy I heard on an interview. You guys know who he is, Chuck Booth, and he said 3 years ago he bought a lake house, right? A really expensive lake house. And he lives up in Canada. He's a Canadian guy. I think he's Western Canada, but I don't know exactly where he lives. But he bought a lake house for, I think it was $2 million, right? $1.5 million or whatever. Okay. And it would have cost him 200 Bitcoin 3 years ago. And today he could buy the same house for 40 Bitcoin. Just saying. You know what I mean? It's not that the Bitcoin went up in value, it's the damn dollars depleting. It's leaking, and it's leaking equity, and it's leaking value, true value. And that's a math number. That's a calculation. That's not anything to do with speculation. That's a mathematical equation that is happening. And it's going to happen with all cryptos, not all cryptos, but the top big ones.
My dad taught me this first. You know, when things start looking worse and worse and worse, and currency all over the world just looks like a even worse, you know, stack of house of cards. You want assets, and in particular, you want appreciating assets. And the future of technology looks insanely bright. Um, just how we were using it 10 years ago to how we're using it right now at this minute is drastically different. It's very different.
It
This
is.
is
Yeah.
we have solutions. Like, I'm not even afraid of the corruption and all that stuff as much anymore. We have solutions. Like the cat's out of the bag, Dad. We know how to build blockchains. Okay, it's like boom. Like, I've worked on one. Like, it's not that hard. It's I mean, it's incredibly hard, but we, you know, they crush it, they break us, whatever the hell happens, we have this solution that, you know, to create finite money, to create assets, to create a brand new asset class that goes completely against the grain of this legacy system. And
Yes.
I am I know I'm not the Lone Ranger here, like just thinking that or saying that. It's there's so many people. We were just talking about this. There's so many people that we still feel like just aren't even on board. Like the conversation that my dad and I have, we're kind of talking about like, is there only maybe like, I don't know, 500,000 people or 1 million people in crypto that are watching all these YouTube channels? And it's just kind of a circulation of all of us watching each other's stuff. And we haven't really hit that boom, in human population where people get what we get about it, where it is a solution and it goes against the grain of what has come before it. That is going to be interesting to see too. That's something that I don't think about. We're looking at XRP and we're looking at ETFs and we're looking at all this new stuff coming, and those all look like giant dominoes.
Yeah.
But mankind's awareness of it and what it is and how it works and how it's different is maybe the biggest domino of all.
It is, and that leads perfectly. Well put, Brent. Really well put. It's so. This is what I wanted to talk about in the beginning of the show that I said I'd talk about later, and it's stuff I talk about all the time, but it's so important that you guys understand where we're at in the debt cycle. Okay, where we are now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The math doesn't float anymore. Okay. So what we've taken it to a point to where interest rates will never be zero again, is my opinion, until you have a complete and massive total reset. Because money owed doesn't equal money existing. I know that sounds crazy, but that's been that way for many years. So now what you need to do is you need to make more and more interest to pay for the money you've borrowed, okay, or money lent. And what happens is it's this death loop, and we're in it right now. This happened to Britain in the 20s. This happened to Germany in the 30s. This happens to every financial situation that does what we've done over the last few years. Does it mean it's going to crash tomorrow? No. Does it mean it's going to be able to kick the can down the road quite a bit? Yes. But if I'm correct about what I'm thinking here, is you're going to see more and more inflation, because the Federal Reserve and the central bankers have lost control of the equation that I just explained. You can't print your way out of this problem. By the printing and the lending of more of this problem creates more need for the inflation of the problem and creating more and more of the debt of the problem. This problem only grows when you go to fix it. And we've just surpassed that in 2021. And I'm not the Lone Ranger that feels this way. Does that mean that some things are going to be deflationary? Yes, they are. Some things are going to go down in value. And unfortunately, the things that you really, really need and really want to survive and live are going to get more expensive. The things that you find are useless and senseless will probably get really cheap. That is the debt cycle that we're currently in. It's not a pretty picture for a lot of people, but in my opinion, if we're correct, and if everything Brent just said is accurate, which I believe it is, you own an asset. You have to own assets. You must own land. You must own gold. You must own crypto, in my opinion. And what I'm talking about is like your favorite top 50. Those are assets of the future, okay? Because they can't make more of them. They can't inflate those away. You can't borrow trillions of dollars to make more of them. It doesn't work like that. So what's about to happen? I say about. That could take the next 5 years. But their debt spiral loop is really ramping up. And how I know this is when you listen to Jay Powell talk. He doesn't say, well, we're going to stop raising interest rates on this date, because he lost control of interest rates. I'm going to say that again. They've lost control of this tiger. They have it by the tail, and they're not turning the head, and they're reacting to what you and I are doing now. What you and I are doing is contracting, and we're contracting the money we spend on frivolous things and things that mean less to us. And I don't mean just you and I creating inflation. I'm talking about the fact that you're not borrowing more money, creating more debt on top of the debt that they need to expand, and they can't expand the debt because you're contracting. The world is changing the policy of the Federal Reserve and the central banking systems for the first time in my lifetime. That's what's happening right now. Am I wrong? Possibly. I'm wrong a lot. But I will tell you, if that's what's happening, and I believe it is, I'm not alone in that. If that's really what's happening, hang on, because you're going to want to have a chicken or two laying around, or you're going to want to be able to own assets like all of you do. And please do your best to hang on to the assets in which you have, because they are going to skyrocket in value. My opinion, not financial advice.
Yeah. In our
it's
opinion.
A bit of a negative twist on where we're headed in the world, but it's a coming to reality for what's been happening for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Dad. You know, this is obscene. I mean, how it's embarrassing just what I've seen Americans do. It's embarrassing. Like we've allowed, the Washington to just, take our freedoms in a lot of things that really matter, human rights stuff, any law that has anything to do with money or currency. And it's just, I, it's that time. It's that time. It's why this all came around, and we all get it. And it's exciting. I'm so excited to be here with all of you because we get it. And will it be hard? Yeah. Is it all perfect? No. But man, what a great solution. What a great solution. Like blockchain, like I've told this story a lot in videos, but I started reading this book. Do I have it? No. The Real Business of Blockchain. And it just broke down kind of the fundamental principles of how the blockchain works. And it's just so valuable to look at that and just say to yourself, like, wow, man, this thing dictates my ownership of something, that is now immutable, cannot be silenced, cannot be taken away. Just that. And then you get into tokenization. Tokenization is going to be the fuel. It's going to be what we all trade with. It's going to be how we all exchange. Then you learn about encryption, and you learn about cryptography and how it all works. And I always use the blender analogy. And I know you all know this, but it's still so fun to me to really look at what has been created, and the fact that all these companies and all these, blockchains and all these rule changes and forks that we've seen, it just looks like they're trying to get stronger and better. And the companies have learned kind of some lessons from other ones, and they're spreading it out farther across the world, and they're getting out there. And now we're seeing companies like Ripple that has just an incredible spread, this incredible widespread. Like, I feel like every time I hear news about them, it's something different, Dad. It's just
Oh
so
yeah.
instantly somewhere different, something different, and we get to be a part of that
Yeah.
as investors. Going back to what you would buy question, it's like, yeah, it's I would just look at top 50s, and
As long
that's
as
why
as
that's
long
my
as
opinion. Use your 10 grand however you need to in your life responsibly. That's
yeah,
that's
as
the only
as
way.
long as there is a banking system, XRP is going to be a coin you're going to want to own. Now, if we went Mad Max world and there wasn't a banking system and we're all running around with 45 strapped to our hip, well, then all bets are off. But
Right.
as long as there's a central banking system, you're going to want to be part of what Ripple's up to. Yeah. You want that. Everything I've read over the last 2 years and more than that has told me those people are involved in all of it. And if there's no other better way to invest in Ripple than XRP. So for the common guy, that's what you pretty much have to invest in, but
Yeah.
it's good, man. It's a good
Yeah.
time to be alive, and it's going to be a revolutionary change is coming to the value of money, and it's going to seek a level, and wherever that level finds itself, you're going to want to have monetary assets. You're going to want to have things that represent money, and that's either in the form of gold or land or water or whatever, but you're going to want those assets, because if you don't have those, you're stuck with the inflationary paper, and it's just not the place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TP, but you can't even really use it for that.
No, it's not. No. It won't even keep you warm, but yeah. I had I don't talk about that right now. I'll talk about something more fun. How rich we're all going to get.
Yeah, let's talk about something fun, everybody.
Let's talk about where this thing's going, where it's all going. Here's my big picture that I never really get to talk about, and it's my favorite big picture, and I've been saying it for many years, and it's not come true as of yet. But in my opinion, what man's going to do with blockchain is bigger than the internet. I know I say that and people just laugh at me. I say that because the difference between the world we live in today, everything you and I do in the world today is built on trust. We have to trust the government. We have to trust the police. We have to trust the agencies. We have to trust the banking systems. We have to trust the medical system. Well, blockchain eliminates that, and it creates a trustless system. You no longer have to trust. You can simply verify. That is revolutionary. If you don't understand what I just said there, no more BS. There's going to come a day when you're going to have to say what's up, because what's up on the damn blockchain is like, you can't lie. You can't get in a microphone and say something yesterday and say something different tomorrow.
Yeah.
That trustless system is so important to where we're going. Between trustless and between peer-to-peer, the chimps in the suits are out of jobs. Yeah. And they're valueless to us all. And that's going to be, when you understand true trustless system, we don't need them. We only think they're trustworthy because they got a suit or a cape and a gavel in their hand. And we're forced to trust their ruling and their judgment upon the people. Well, they've not done a very good job in that. They've let us all down monetarily, militarily, and in so many other ways. And they're going to get called out by the blockchain. And it's going to become very apparent to a lot of people that, wait a minute, That doesn't make sense. That doesn't hold water. That person's lying. And that's coming. Not soon enough, but we will see. We'll see how long it takes, but yeah.
Exactly, Dad. Let's just take this one. You bring this up once in a while when we're chatting.
I do trust the court. No.
Money laundering. What does blockchain do to the future of money laundering? Let me expand. Let's expand for a second. Why would you launder money when you're a, government organization or any kind of organization? And where does that behavior come from even? And I think about it, it's like almost like mafia stuff where it's just, like you're like, what's the most simple, pure principle of humanity here, everybody? It's that I have bread, Alan have, broccoli, we exchange, we trade. Or like I've got coin, I got coin in my coin purse, and dad's got dad's got a cool CD I want. He's got name your favorite CD, folks. Like, and so it's trade. And it's trade between two people. It's the same thing if like you or I walk into a store right now. Like we're dealing with some corporation or some group or some usually, but in the case of a lot of these small businesses, like they're a part of the whole roller coaster of volatility with all this, oh, well, we need to write a new bill today. And, oh, yeah, we're going to allocate the money to this. And, oh, by the way, the bill is, 1,200 pages long. And our lawyers didn't even read it because it's so egregiously long. So does everybody really know where the money is? Does, because of the text that they wrote and when you go through it? No. It's lying about the printing. It's lying about where it's going. And that's creating a huge ups and downs in our civilization, in our towns, in our cities, in our countries, in our lives. And what can fix that? Blockchain. What maybe the turning point in it, Dad, will be, when we're marching on the, we're on the White House lawn and we're like, you have to use this. You have to use this. Like, there's no more, no more CDC. There's no more, dollar nonsense. There's no more, you have to use this. We have to know what you're up to. We need to know what you're doing. It's time for accountability. We're here. We are right here. And we're ready for you to use this. And some lies and excuses, and no, don't want to hear the lies and excuses anymore. Over it.
This debt bubble is just bringing it more rapid to market. It's coming, and for the first time, I can honestly say you can't just print more money to change the debt bubble. Now, don't get me wrong. As soon as they print a bunch of money and they hand it out to everybody, like in the form of CBDCs or so wherever they can go directly into your bank account from, the Federal Reserve, will everybody run out and spend it and create an economy? Yeah, they will, and they can, right? And everybody will. And that will kick the can down the road further. And the honesty of the whole system is only further diluted when they do that. And it becomes more apparent to more people like everybody in this chat. And all of a sudden you have an argument around the table for Thanksgiving dinner. And it becomes more and more obvious to more people at the Thanksgiving dinner that what you've been talking about for 20 years, in some cases 30 years, that this whole Ponzi scheme favors the rich and it favors the people. It's the Cantillon effect, right? It's like it affects the people closest to the money at the top the best. but the most negatively at the people at the bottom of this economy. And they know that. And they understand that Joe Sixpack, and I love Joe Sixpack, don't get me wrong, is the guy holding the whole Ponzi up. He's the only guy holding the Ponzi up. And he's too dense, but he's too damn dense to listen to somebody in this chat make an honest argument about what money is. And until they get it, we're stuck with more. We're stuck with more Ponzi and more of the music's playing as the Titanic's sinking. And that's what we get. Because, Joe Sixpack is dancing to the music still. But, it's coming. And one day, the music will stop and the boat, all the analogies.
Oh, yeah. And then the pain comes and yeah.
Well, not for you and I.
I hear a big calling, like me, Dad, I hear a big calling in the chat and comments that we get. It's like, rip the Band-Aid off, what like, and that's really ugly. Like, I mean, you and I talk about that a lot. It's ripping the Band-Aid off is ugly, but
yeah,
hopefully in the course of what you were talking about, where it does innovate and it does, we do get into this trustless system and people are like, wow, this is the way to go. This is so much better. This is like, we could fix stuff with this. Hopefully somewhere in there, we're making lifeboats, and we're, our representatives, and our leaders and our leaders, or start building lifeboats and start understanding. And this is the first election ever that I've even heard nominees talk about crypto. I really like the one before, like, not really. It like this, it's like, it was weird. It was almost like, there was 2 or 3 weeks in the US, you guys, where like all the nominees talked about it. Do you remember that, Dad?
Yeah.
And it was like, okay.
I didn't listen to it, but I heard about it.
Yeah. I listened to some. I'm not a big fan of, presidents or any of that. So I'm not into it, but I was so curious, it was like, what's the temperature in the pool? And the temperature was very warm. It was very inviting. It was very, the people I listened to actually went as far as to say, like, it's your money. It should be your money. It should be, you should have the say over what happens with your money. And like, it's a start.
Yeah.
Well, like, I'm not counting on those people to fix it for us at all, but we do need their help. We will need their help. Or it's just going to be, like you're saying, Dad, more Titanic, more music.
It is. And it's become, there's so many people that can explain this a lot better than I can, but I'm gonna throw a stab at it here. But essentially what they've done is they've made us top heavy and they've made us government independent. Okay. And the top and the money movers, okay, don't make money. They don't make jobs and they don't make money. And we think they do, but they really don't. Okay. Sometimes they lend money for massive projects. Yes, that does happen. Okay. But they don't do it. Like, we don't need them for that. A massive amount of shareholders or stakeholders who own a ton of Bitcoin or a ton of XRP could fund those projects. We don't necessarily need them to fund it. Okay. But what they've really done is they've stolen technology from the little man. And I talked about this with you yesterday, Brent, but it's so important that we all understand this. Mm-hmm. Innovation and technology makes things cheaper day to day to day to day to day. Okay. We get better at everything we do. Mankind gets smarter and better at what we do. Well, how come prices are going up? If things are cheaper and easier to make and resources are everywhere spread around the world now, why are things going up in price? Well, what they've done is that deflation, which is technology making things cheaper and more efficient, therefore making your television cheaper, has been stolen by them at the top. Because these were the families that created the Fords and the Rockefellers, okay? And they understood what corporations amounted to and what they could create. With an assembly line, that's what Henry Ford did well. He understood an assembly line made each truck really cheap to build, okay? So he stole that technology and enslaved a bunch of workers and told us all that we need to be those workers. That's great. But with robotics coming along, who's going to be the workers? Well, it's not you and I. It's going to be the robots, okay? So what they did is they took control of that deflation, and they knew it existed, and they stole it from the end line user. Instead of making everything cheaper as things were more efficient all the way down the line and spread the wealth with the bottom of the people, they kept all of those percentages of markup to themselves at the very top. And when you get that, you understand they've been stealing this from us from thousands of years. This is not just something that's happened in the last 100 or 200 years with the Industrial Revolution. This has been going on forever, since the wheel was invented, basically. But this time, it's different. Because this time we have coins that are of limited supply. Okay? And now we have blockchain. And now people are starting to understand that's better money. That's a better system. Blockchain can't be reproduced or stolen or chipped little pieces of the gold coin away to where the next thing you know, the coin isn't gold any longer, it's bronze. They can't do that when you have an accountable or a trustless system. And it's brilliant when you see where the whole new technologies are headed. My favorite one is blockchain for the reasons in which we've just been discussing. But that is what they've been trying to stifle, because they know what I just told you. They know that they're going to be the people that are going to be called out, and eventually they're going to have to tighten their belts, because you and I can't. You can't tighten the belt at the bottom. You have to eliminate the fat at the top, because our system is becoming way too efficient for them to survive without all the fingers pointing directly at them. And it's becoming more and more obvious every single day. And people like you and I get it, unfortunately. Joe Sixpack is, well, he's probably watching football right now, actually.
Yeah, he's dancing to the music on deck.
That's it.
That's so well put, Dad. It's so important to remember, like technology is deflationary. The advancement of things get better, they get cheaper, they get more efficient. And when you have these poor third-party players, and I'm gonna quote you here, Dad. I wrote it down because I thought it was so good. They're really only relevant because they control the pain. They control and that's just, do we need that? Do we need that if we implement a system of trade that is incredibly deflationary and is trustless, and the history of it is not rewritable? I mean, I'm already signed up for it. I know you folks are too, which I love.
But let me use Let me use a quick analogy for what you just said.
Yeah.
They control the pain with interest rates, okay, jobs reports, and the media. But they lost control of the morphine. They overused the morphine, and now the patient doesn't respond to it. They've lost control because they've lost the debt market. This is why the bond market is the worst bond market since the 1700s. If you don't believe me, look it up. The 1700s. They did themselves in with the debt market, and they know it, and they don't know what to do about it. And what all they're doing right now is raising rates, and it's not working. Okay, it's not working. And now they know they're in a death spiral. Again, does the death spiral last 10 years? Possibly. It probably won't. It's probably going to happen within the next 2 to 3 years, I would guess, that they're going to have to reset everything. Now, it's a guess, speculation, but the morphine's not working anymore. You can't just print your way out of this one. Now, you can, they will here soon. They'll probably level off on interest rates and print a bunch of money and make everybody go happy again, but it's to no avail in a long term. It's just going to be more obvious to everybody. And the pain will go away for shorter periods of time.
Yeah.
That boom and bust cycle is happening quicker. I don't know if you guys have noticed. We've had 3 of them since 2020.
Yeah.
And they're just these quick little waves now. And they used to be decades. It used to be 7 years. Yeah.
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 That has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's fun stuff, but it's good to have at least a game plan. I mean, even if you and I are completely wrong about crypto or precious metals or whatever you hold as an asset, listen to what the big boys are buying. Listen to that. You know, they're all getting out of stocks. I think stocks are going to be fine. I don't mean anybody to panic about stocks, because here's what I think when it comes to stocks. Always they go up. Do they go up as much as inflation? No, but they go up because they're being inflated by these dollars, that it takes more of them to create anything. So everything gets more expensive. So the stock market will go up, but the only way to beat inflation is to have a real true asset that is limited in amount or scarcity. And that's, a painting or a whatever, crypto, in my opinion, and gold or silver, in my opinion, are things that they can't print more of. Yeah. And it's going to be, I keep saying this, but it's going to be, I've got my chair, my popcorn, and my cold drink. I'm not financially set for this. I'd like to say I am, but I honestly, it doesn't keep me up at night because I know we're all going to be fine. I really believe in the well-being of all mankind. So, yeah.
Yep.
And we will thrive. We always do.
We always do.
Yeah.
We always figure it out.
Yeah. We do. And it's a good world to be on. And I'm so glad I'm in it with all you guys. Because we got some good people in this group. And I really want to see all of us do well. So.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool watching you all talk with each other today.
Yeah. We got to see some of that.
We love that. We love that. There's a lot of the same people come in, and y'all are getting to know each other, and that's the coolest part. That's the coolest part of this.
I want to say we're going to be doing some stuff here. I know we say it all the time, but now that I got my office set up and I'm in a better situation, it's time we started interviewing some of these people. And Northern Living's on the list for sure. But XRP Slave, if you're opening up a channel and you only have one sub, let me help you fix that. That would be cool. I would love to help you start the channel any way I can. So, yeah,
I would love
that's
to help you, man. I would love to help you.
right.
We can work stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll put him on and we'll interview him. And Mark could be a good interview too. But anyway, there's a bunch of people in our chat that'd be just great interviews. And we're going to get to all of you eventually. But
yeah,
I'm in a better situation now with my internet and my new laptop. So
yeah, the office looks great, Dad. I love that you got the painting up.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Dad has painted both of these paintings.
Oh yeah.
The one behind me is my favorite painting ever. And then my second is probably that one of Vegas.
Yeah.
So fun. Multi-talented man. My father, the mad scientist.
Yeah. I've been called worse.
Yeah, I've heard it. Well, you called yourself that. That's why I said that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But it's awesome. It's in a good way.
XRP slave, don't sweat how many subs you have. We started at 0. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, don't even bother telling your friends because they won't watch.
No.
So don't try and get them to sub. They're just not.
Family is even worse.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
They won't watch. But, I'm shocked my wife and my son watch this show. Well, my son is part of it, but I mean, my wife watches the show, and I'm like, "What? You watched that?"
Yeah, that's a lot. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna find your channel, Slave. We're finding it. We're gonna. Yeah.
We'll find it.
We'll be in there bugging you. We'll be watching.
I look at all the channels that have helped me out and given me advice and just been good friends to me. You know, behind the scenes, guys, I talk to a lot of people, not just other content people. I mostly text. I prefer to text. That's why I'm really not on Twitter and a bunch of other things, because I got other avenues to communicate with people. But
there was one we forgot about, Dad, and they're doing it with us right now. Like, so OG Mack brought up the question, and then we're talking about Slave here. But potentially building a channel. Really big thing is to go into a bigger pond. It's to go to a seminar, which is what we did, and we were social. We were making contacts and making friends and talking to people. That's what we were just doing in Vegas. That was the big part of going, was networking. And silver's cool, and people were there for crypto too, and did a bunch of cool stuff. But we were making contacts, and we're wanting to do interviews in the future here with more of those people that we've built that network with, that are bigger than us, but also different than us, and more interesting in different ways, so that we can bring that kind of content to you all, and then their people can see who we are too. And so start thinking about all of that, how to go to an event. We would love to help you out. We'll do a video with you. And that, I think that goes for everybody, Dad. Everybody in this group, if it doesn't matter what it is either. If it's not crypto, like, reach out to us, email us. Check that stuff out.
Just off the top of my head, okay, Sean, Simon Says, Northern Living, XRP Backcourt, all of those people I've met personally at shows. That's how I know all those people in this chat.
Yeah.
So, personally.
And who shows up every week? It really becomes the people and that's what your community turns into. And then they have friends that can help you, one of Simon's friends is helping us with a project. So
Yeah.
cool, and so it's yeah, find your community and find it in here. Talk to people. Like if you want to link up with people, we wanted to do a partnered show. We wanted to have the ability, and we have, to where Dad can go solo, I can go solo, we can go together, we can interview each other. There's a lot of different topics that we love to discuss together.
Yeah.
So find your partners, find your community, and that is the key.
It is.
Right back to everybody, especially in the beginning. It gets harder to write comments, but right back to everybody, because you make that link, you make that connection.
Yeah. Did you see Sean's comment? Yeah.
That's classic, dude. That was classic.
Actually, I met Sean at the XRP. By the way, I heard Brad just announced it's definitely the first week of May, the XRP show in Vegas.
Yes.
He hasn't said actual dates, but so yeah, I thought I'd throw that out there. So I met Sean anyway, we've talked about that, but I met Sean. He was standing over there by himself, and I just walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, dude, what's up, man? What are you doing?" He was like, "Oh yeah, cool, man." It was just fun. It was just fun to meet somebody, and he and I had a lot in common. So it's really good to share info. Sean and I share a lot of information together, as Simon and I do. It's good to have family, yeah. And now Simon and Sean have been sharing info back and forth, so it's all good. Yeah. And Northern Living, we went to dinner. I think we went to dinner. We went to dinner one night and just hung out a bunch. So by the pool and a bunch of good stuff. So
yeah.
Okay, we are probably done with this one.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Dude,
but
where are you going?
I'm going hiking today.
Oh,
how about that, Dad? I'm going hiking too today.
Yeah, good deal.
Us mountain folk. You can take us out of the mountains, but you can't take the mountains out of us.
Nope.
Yeah, I got some other fun stuff going on. I'll tell you about later. So
we have. I have a couple. I'm going to do more. I have more videos coming out this week, obviously, but I have 2 or 3 that I really want you guys all to watch because they're going to be hard hitting, and they're going to be good. And we have a video coming out today on Patreon, Brad. I did the other day, and that's about all we have. Nice. Updates. That's it. Awesome. So with that, we will see you guys hopefully next Sunday live.
Yeah.
Again.
Next Sunday, it's a date.
Yeah. Thanks for being in here, and we will see you next weekend.
See you next weekend. Much love, everybody. Thank you.